As we explore our lives and the great unknown, it can become very confusing trying to navigate through the many layers of a spiritual journey. That's why it's important to understand who is guiding us and how to connect with that guidance. In this video, I'm going to explain what the higher self is and how to cultivate a relationship with your higher self. The higher self is the part of the soul that resides in the higher dimensions, starting from the fifth dimension and up. We start at the fifth dimension because that is what is known as the quantum field. This is the field of pure information that is not bound by any human constructs of time or belief systems. We refer to this space as the everywhere and everywhen. All things are possible. The higher self is not some Godhead figure. Think of it as your true self and your true essence. The higher self knows all, where you have been and where you are headed. It contains all the wisdom and information gathered in all incarnations, in all dimensions, space, and time. To understand its grandness from the third dimension, think of it as an ambassador of Source that contains all of us all at once, that is making sure we are fulfilling our soul's path. This is why you can trust that you are always guided. You are never truly alone on your path, no matter how lonely you may feel. What better support system could you ask for than the part of you that knows literally everything about you, but also contains all the wisdom of your soul and knows where to guide you next? For this reason, it seems silly that we would ever doubt ourselves. In fact, we doubt ourselves because we are disconnected from our higher self. We feel the consequences of the air quote mistakes we make in life and how emotionally and sometimes physically painful they can be. We wonder why we would create such pain instead of understanding that these are the events the higher self has set up for us in order to learn what we came here to learn for our soul's highest growth and evolution. Without getting into a full-blown discussion about why we're even here, because it really is different for everyone. Some of us are here on missions. Yes, that's my weekly nod to starseeds. And some of us don't even know why we're here, and we might not find out till way later when we meet that soul contract. Either way, we are here to reclaim aspects of ourselves. There are some aspects that we can reclaim only by incarnating into the Earth system. So yes, we picked the toughest school in the universe to learn those lessons and reclaim those aspects. Either way, you just being here serves a higher purpose, and your higher self wants you to realize that. That's why cultivating a relationship with it is so important, so that you can make the most of your time here on Earth. Understanding the decisions we made on the higher self level can also bring a sense of peace when we process trauma and our life experiences. We may ask ourselves, why did I choose this? Why this family or lack of family? Why these toxic relationships? Why was I born in this country or to a particular ancestry line or religion? Why is this my path? Why do I physically look this way? Why do others seem to have it easier than me? Why this illness? Why this career? All of this was chosen on the higher self level right before each incarnation. For example, if you chose an ancestry line where the women in your family were super oppressed, your higher self may have put you on a path to activate your throat chakra, speak your truth, and heal the oppression and silence in your lineage. You becoming your true self and full self then retroactively heals those ancestors who weren't free enough to do so themselves. These are the factors you needed to become who you are meant to become, or to expand, evolve, and ascend back to Source, or whatever pit stops you have planned along the way. The higher self is here to make sure that no matter what we do, we are still on our journey. Yes, there are things that are predetermined, but we still have free will. And the more we raise our consciousness and our awareness and make big decisions for ourselves, we are now accessing different timelines. So there's a lot of self-responsibility here, but you know what? Sounds like a good time to me. I mean, how else are you going to spend infinity? Now that you are familiar with the higher self, here's what you need to know to connect with it. Your higher self is always with you, but conscious connection begins with the intention to do so. Intent is the most powerful force in the universe. When you learn how to yield this, you can literally create whatever you want. As the mystical writer Carlos Castaneda once said, intent is what sends a shaman through a wall, through space to infinity. So, intend on calling in your higher self. You can call in your higher self in your own meditation practice, or simply find a calm and quiet place Sit in silence with your eyes closed and call your higher self in. Take a deep breath and try to sense a presence in your energy field. Practice this until the feeling and recognition becomes second nature. I like to think of it as an ancient recognition. When you know, you know. My tried and true way of calling in my higher self is by expanding my core essence through my heart center and then just calling it in. You can watch my video entitled How to Expand Your Core Essence to learn how to do this. If you find it hard to connect to your higher self in meditation, you can listen to frequency music tracks that put your mind into an altered brainwave state. This makes it easier to connect to the higher realms where one can perceive energy more fluidly. I recommend exploring both theta and gamma brainwave tracks. Traditional shamanic drumming can also put one in the theta brainwave state and is a great accompaniment to journey work. Find the music that works for you and ask your higher self to take you on a journey. One can also connect with the higher self through repeating mantras and reciting affirmations. Several case studies have found that out-of-body experiences and lucid dreams can also open a door to connecting with the higher self. Once you make contact with your higher self and you continue to cultivate it, make sure that this becomes a regular part of your spiritual practice. This way, the recognition and connection will be so swift, you won't even need to go into a full-blown meditation or altered state. You'll be able to feel for it and listen for it. Remember that everyone is going to perceive their higher self connection differently. If you're not a visual person, feel for it and listen for it and track how you are being communicated with. I see specific colors or energies when I communicate with my own higher self or those of my clients when I'm in the quantum field. Sometimes I'll see a glowing orb of light or an outline of a light body. Whatever you see, it is completely valid. Your higher self wants to give you advice, so create a system where you ask your higher self questions and trust the answers you get. For example, I don't just shake my higher self down for information I'm not supposed to know yet because it may hinder my journey, prolong difficult lessons, or create karma that I really don't need. So I always begin by asking my higher self, do I have permission to ask this question? And if I get a yes or a no, I trust it. The more you do this, you will know what these responses look, sound, or feel like to you. Ask permission first, especially if you're asking a question about another person. Connecting with your higher self is your birthright and your dharma. It is how you will make sense of your journey while creating what comes next. It is a collaboration on the highest level with monumental results. And the best part is, all you have to do is go within.